Hello, this video covers the initial configuration of your VPSA. So you've created a VPSA, we've gone through connecting, doing the one-off connection between your virtual private cloud and the Zadara Storage Cloud, and you've received an email similar to this one saying your new Zadara Storage VPSA is ready. So in this case, I've started up a Windows instance that is running within the virtual private cloud, and it is able to reach this address. Now this address will only work from within the virtual private cloud. So I'm going to copy that link, start up a web browser on this particular Windows instance, put in the link. There we go. Yep. I wish to add this one to the trusted sites. This is a default Windows instance, default configuration. And this is what you should see, the login page for your VPSA. Now, most of the time, you won't need to log into it, but for the initial setup of the VPSA, you do need to log into it. So in this case, let me move that over so I can see it. Copy the password there. And don't worry, I'm going to change the password. Paste the password in, log in. I'm going to put in a new password. Now, if you forget the password, there is a forgot password button at the login for the VPSA. So this is the interface for the VPSA. Now, here I'm going to cover the initial configuration of it in here. So in a previous video, I covered creating the VPSA, and I chose 4 of the nominally 5 terabyte drives, which is 4.55 terabytes usable here. Now, in this particular view, let me change that to be full screen for the share. There we go. So in this particular view, I'm going to take these 4 drives, organize them into 2 separate RAID groups of type RAID 1, and then stripe across those 2 RAID groups into a pool. And this will give our RAID 10 configuration, and this is our fastest configuration here. So I'm going to go to RAID groups, hit create here. RAID group number 1, protection, RAID 1. If I had more drives here, I would be able to choose something like RAID 5 or RAID 6. I can also, with the RAID 1, choose it to mirror 2 ways to 2 drives or 3 ways to 3 separate drives. So I'm just going to choose 2 of the drives here. I'll hit create on that. Confirm the create. Okay. And then I'll create the second RAID group 2. RAID 1, 2-way, and I'll select the remaining drives here. And you'll notice here the storage node, it's saying that each drive is coming from a different storage node, number 1 and number 2 here. Hit create there. The interface will not let you create a RAID group with all the members of it on the same storage node. And this is solely to prevent that if the storage node has a problem, your data is still accessible. So once I have the 2 RAID groups, I'll then go to the pools and hit create on the pool. Give that a name. We're very big on giving things names. And select both of the pools. And for the most speed, we want to choose the striped option. And so without the striped option, data would be written all to RAID group 1. And once that's filled up, RAID group 2. With the striped option, it writes a chunk of data to RAID group 1, chunk to RAID group 2, etc. When you've got a large file there, the data is coming back to you from both RAID groups, or 4 spindles. We can also add many more RAID groups into the pool here. We can also choose which type of workload you expect to use. Transactional is small transactions like a database backend. Repository is if you've got larger files and you're expecting a lot of reads there. There is also the option of cached, and this puts all the rights to the pool through a set of solid state drives. So instead of waiting for the actual spinning drives, which are SATA drives, you can wait. It's temporarily written to a SSD drive, and your application responds much quicker. Okay, so I'm just going to hit create here. There we go. That's successful on the pool. And the next step is, on top of this pool, is to create a volume. So I'll go to the volumes page, and I can create either a block volume, and this is accessed via iSCSI, or you can create a NAS share, and this is accessed via NFS or CIFS. So I'll create a NAS share, and so I will say this is an example. And for example, if I want to say this is a 500 gig share, create that. I can also, since I'm running on Windows, I've got specific SMB options. Allow guest access is the most common one. We can also do SMB only. If you leave this off, which is the default, you can mount this volume both via SMB or NFS. And so if you're running in an environment where you've got Linux and Windows together, this can be very useful to you. Okay, and I'm just going to accept the defaults here and select the pool that it's coming from and hit submit. There we go. Processing successful. So now the example volume has been created. I then need to tell the VPSA who is allowed to access the volume. And I can do that through creating a server record. I can either create a server record automatically or manually. So with the automatic option, this is going to offer a script that I can then run on my machine. And you can choose either Windows or Linux. And the Linux, it has a set of instructions to run. Windows, it's got a download link. So, and I don't want iSCSI. Click here. And this is going to, do I want to save that? Yes, I do want to save that. And I want to open it. And it will think about it for a bit. And then it's successfully connected. So I'll hit OK there. Close this window. Click on the refresh button in the VPSA. And I can see this is the particular record matching this particular server, this virtual server that I'm using. I can also add an entire address range by choosing the manual option. And in this case, I can see that here's my IP address, you can see behind there, and I can add an entire address range, 172.31.0.0/16, to match the particular VPC. So this is the whole VPC. Right? And I'll create that just as an example. And there we go. I've got two server records. One is an individual IP address. The other is the whole range. The next thing we need to do is to take this server record and attach it to the particular volume. So select the volume, select my servers, attach to server. And in this case, I'm going to choose the record matching the Windows server. And I want to attach it via SMB. Submit there. Yep. And that's successful. So now in the volume properties, if I scroll down, I'm looking for a field marked SMB export path. I can then take this field, put that into my clipboard, and then if I go to the Windows file browser, I take that string, put it in there, and there we go. There is absolutely nothing in the newly created folder. So what I can do in this case, this is a standard network mount here. So I can say I'd like to map a network drive. I'll give this a drive letter, Z for Zadara, and I'll give that. Finish. There we go. I can expand that. And there it is. There's the drive. So if I want to show, and it behaves just like a normal share. So if I want to show some copying there, I can just drag the Windows directory there. It's my favorite go-to for copying that. And we can see in this particular instance, it's doing around about 15 or 14 megabytes per second. The speed, in this case, the lowest speed is mainly there's a lot of small files there. There's a lot of latency. So go back and forth, we can see the metering information here. And there we go, there's the copy. And I can have this update in real time, 20 seconds delayed or so. And there we go. We've got the VPC, we've got the Windows server connected to the VPC. We've got the VPSA. We've got the VPSA configured with an example volume. And that's it for this video. Next video, I'll show more detailed options within the VPSA.